my friends. This is Pastor Jenny, and today I want to talk about the fact that my husband is currently in critical condition in Manatee Memorial Hospital here in Bradenton, Florida, fighting for his life. I really prayed about whether I should do this video or not. As you guys know, I have really slowed down my presence on YouTube because I've been on the very last stages of publishing a book, and of course that book has now taken a back seat to what's happening in our lives right now. So I was really debating because everything is a blur, life is crazy busy, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not even editing this video. It's gonna go exactly as I'm recording it. But then I said, you know what? No, I'm going to do the video because I'm giving updates, regular updates to my everyday friends about what's happening with Pastor John, and also some people have joined in that list since this all started. But it's hard to keep up with everybody, and I love you guys. I love you guys in YouTube. We've been together in this community for, I don't know, 3-4 years, and it's only fair that I tell you guys what's going on, and also because some of you might be struggling with the whole COVID vaccination issue, and I think I owe it to you guys, because if I can stop anybody, any family from going through what we're going through, I want to do that. So this is really why I'm doing this video. Now, I'm going to ask you, if you are one of those individuals that absolutely is against vaccination, and you think that COVID is a hoax and it's not real, and if you are very sad, I'm never, doesn't matter what I share with you, I am never going to change your mind. Please don't show me any hate. My husband is very sick right now. I have a 13-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. I just dropped my daughter to college last Friday without her daddy. She just had this huge show, which was to collect funds for her tuition. It was one of her dreams. She was on a big stage with a professional band, and daddy wasn't there. My son's 13 years old. And this morning we were praying, and he's been really strong about accepting whatever God's will is. And this morning he said, Lord, I accept your will, I accept your decision, but man, I'm 13, I don't want to grow up without a dad. That broke me, guys. So my husband is in Manatee Memorial Hospital. Today is August the 23rd of 2021, and my husband is, generally speaking, an anti-vaxxer. When my kids were little, particularly with JC, he had a lot of doubts about vaccinations. So I said, honey, I'm sorry, but we are vaccinating JC. We're not taking that route. And guys, this is material for another video, but I want to let you guys know that the guy that postulated the correlation between vaccination and autism has been proven to be a fraud. He was disrobed of his medical license, and yet the lies that he has propagated have continued. He actually moved out of London, which is where he's originally from, and he came to the United States, and he's still spreading his ideas, which cost him his medical license, but there's no correlation. Again, if you are an anti-vaxxer, Dale Carnegie says, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. I'm going to say it again. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So if you do not want to believe that anything I'm saying is true, then nothing I can tell you is true. So I'm just going to go right ahead and tell you about my experience, and you do with it whatever it is that you want to do with it. I've done my part before God, okay? My daughter and I were fully vaccinated in March. My son is 13, and when we all got COVID last month, we had just made the appointment for him to get vaccinated. My husband refused to vaccinate. We begged him. We asked him, my daughter asked him, I asked him, my son asked him, even when he made the appointment for his vaccination, which was right before we got sick, he asked him. My husband said, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. So we had like a summer camp. We had people coming from Panama for that summer camp. We had kids that we were taking for the summer camp. And 2 or 3 days before the summer camp, he was coughing. My son, him, and I were coughing. And I'm like, we've got to get tested. We cannot go to camp like this. We're going to be seeing people. This would not be responsible. So my husband kept saying that he didn't have COVID, that it was just a cold. But when we went to get tested, we all tested positive, with the exception of my daughter. So I shipped my daughter to a friend's house so that I would keep her safe. And the 3 of us went back home, and we had to cancel the summer camp, which in itself was really hard because people had already paid money to be here from other countries, and we had already paid for the quinta, and kids were disappointed. And I was so bummed. And I thought in that day that was going to be the biggest of our problems. But 2 days later, my husband collapsed twice in the house. He insisted he was going to be okay, but when he collapsed the second time, I said, no, I'm calling the ambulance. And I called the ambulance, and he went there. And 1 or 2 days later, he called me, and he called my daughter and my son, and he apologized. Well, he didn't call us together. He called us separately because my daughter was not there. He apologized. He said, I've been stubborn. I've been proud. I should have gotten that vaccination. I'm sorry, guys. But still, he had no idea how bad it was going to get. We had no idea how bad it was going to get. So they put him on a cannula respirator. That was not enough. Then they put him on a BiPAP, which is a little bit more intrusive. That did not work. And then he collapsed again while trying to go to the bathroom. And they had no other option but to intubate him and induced him into a coma. They have used all the medications available. So I'm not asking for recommendations on medication. He is under the care of excellent physicians. I am thanking them every day because for me, they are heroes without capes. So please do not give me any medical recommendations. The bottom line is the doctors believe that they've done as much as they can do for my husband. And with the exception of a process called ECMO, they pretty much told me they don't think my husband's going to make it. Now I am praying with all of my heart that he will. With all of my heart that he will. But at the end of the day, I have to accept God's will, and I have to accept the fact that my husband is where he is because he's reaping the consequences of his actions. Now I'm not blaming him anymore because he apologized to us and to God, and God forgave him, and we forgave him. And you know what? I love him. I've been married with him for over 22 years, guys. In October of this year, 2021, it'll be 23 years that I've loved him and that we've been together. I'm sad, but I'm trying to stay strong because of my kids, because of the congregation that we pastor all throughout America. So many people have been impacted by this. My husband used to say, you know, when talking about COVID, anybody has to die at some point. Well, that may sound okay, as long as you're not the one dying, and as long as your family is not the one praying for you to heal. So from the bottom of my heart, I don't know what's going to happen, and whatever happens, we're going to continue following God and putting one foot in front of the other. But if you have not gotten your vaccination, I got my vaccination, I'm okay. My 18-year-old daughter got the vaccination. She's okay. Our 13-year-old son already got half of the immunization. He's about to get the second one. He's okay. We all got COVID with the exception of my daughter. For my son and I, it was just like a regular cold. My husband is fighting for his life. If this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Please get vaccinated. I'll come back and give you an update of what happens. But right now, I just want to say I love you. Thanks for listening, and please get vaccinated. Bye.